Manchester United entered the 2025-26 Premier League season carrying the weight of fresh hope. With Ruben Amorim in the dugout, fans were promised a new philosophy built on control, pressing, and discipline. The players, too, had shown positive signs during their summer tour, but after just 2 competitive matches, those dreams have already hit a wall. A 1-0 defeat to Arsenal and a frustrating 1-1 draw away at Fulham have left the Red Devils searching for answers. And in both games, one name has dominated the headlines, not for brilliance but for controversy: Bruno Fernandes. Once the savior when he arrived at Old Trafford back in 2020, Bruno has now become the lightning rod for criticism. His penalty miss against Fulham, blasted high into the London sky, cemented his place as the most frequent penalty misser in English football over the past 6 years. Worse still, his performances in Amorim's 3-4-2-1 system have exposed alarming flaws: shaky distribution, costly turnovers, and at times slowing down United's attacking flow. Now, with another massive offer from Saudi Arabia back on the table, United find themselves at a crossroads. Do they cash in and move on from Bruno Fernandes this summer? Or do they keep faith in a captain who, despite his struggles, has still delivered countless moments of magic? It's not just about one player, it's about Manchester United's identity, their long-term vision, and what kind of club they want to be in this post-crisis era. From the very moment Bruno Fernandes set foot at Old Trafford in January 2020, he became the spark that breathed life back into a broken Manchester United side. Goals, assists, relentless energy. Bruno was the heartbeat of a team rediscovering its confidence in the middle of a crisis. He was the inspiration behind United's return to the Champions League, the driving force that carried them to major finals. Back then, calling him the savior of the club wasn't an exaggeration, it was the truth. But football is ruthless. A few years on, the image of Bruno as the conductor pulling everyone forward has begun to fade. Once the new arrival who galvanized a team, he is now the captain, still a powerful figure in the dressing room, yet no longer producing at the same consistent level. At 30, the legs aren't as fresh, the creativity not as unpredictable, and opponents have learned how to neutralize him. The recent draw at Fulham summed it up. Bruno wasn't just ineffective in orchestrating the play. He squandered a golden chance from the penalty spot, blasting the ball into the sky. That miss took his tally to 6 failed penalties in the Premier League, a stat that cuts deep when you consider the wage packet he commands and the responsibility he carries. For a player of his stature, it was a moment almost impossible to accept. And then comes the dilemma for Ruben Amorim. The new United boss genuinely wants to keep Bruno. As captain and a long-time symbol of the club, he's not someone you can simply discard. But that loyalty forces Amorim into tactical compromises, fitting Bruno into a 3-4-2-1 system where central midfielders must cover immense ground, winning the ball, sustaining the press, dictating tempo, linking all 3 phases of play. The reality? That has never been Bruno's game. He's a classic number 10, a creator who thrives on freedom, threading decisive passes or striking from distance. Drop him deeper and the flaws are exposed: misplaced passes, costly turnovers, and a tendency to slow down attacks. Time and again, United look caught in between, a modern system on paper but with personnel that don't quite fit the blueprint. Amorim knows it all too well, but dropping his captain is never that simple. Keeping Bruno means sacrificing some of the tactical discipline he's trying to build. Leaving him out, on the other hand, risks unsettling the dressing room and fracturing the very spirit of the team. This isn't just a footballing dilemma, it's a question of psychology, leadership, and politics inside Manchester United. For now, Amorim has chosen to stand by his captain. But that decision comes at a price. United's high pressing, their control in midfield, the fluid movement and compact distances that Amorim demands, all of it has been compromised. On paper, the system looks modern and ambitious. In reality, it keeps crashing into the same obstacle: Bruno Fernandes. And while Bruno struggles to rediscover his best self, the transfer market has suddenly handed United a tempting way out. Al Ittihad, one of Saudi Arabia's wealthiest clubs, is reportedly ready to offer between 90 and 100 million pounds for the Portuguese playmaker. It's the kind of number United may never see again, especially after rejecting a bid from Al Hilal earlier, only to watch Bruno's form dip even further. But when it comes to Bruno's future at Old Trafford, you cannot ignore the emotional weight of the story. He's not just another talented player. He was the man who carried Manchester United through their darkest days. He arrived in the middle of a crisis, scored relentlessly, lifted his teammates, and became the beacon of hope for millions of fans. And let's not forget, Bruno once turned down a life-changing offer from Al Hilal to stay at Old Trafford. That was no ordinary decision. It was the act of a leader, a man willing to sacrifice hundreds of millions just to keep wearing the red shirt. To many supporters, that was proof that Bruno Fernandes doesn't just play for Manchester United, he loves the club, and he still burns with the desire to bring back its lost glory. But football is unforgiving. It is a brutal environment where loyalty, sacrifice, and even past moments of brilliance can never guarantee the future. The moment performances dip below expectation, memories fade fast. That missed penalty against Fulham didn't just cost Manchester United 2 points. It turned Bruno Fernandes, once celebrated as a hero, into a symbol of disappointment in the eyes of the very fans who once idolized him. History offers a harsh reminder. Even Wayne Rooney, the club's all-time top scorer, was shown the door when his form declined. Yesterday's heroes can so quickly become today's burdens, and Old Trafford has never been a place that tolerates prolonged decline. Selling Bruno Fernandes is not a straightforward decision. The Portuguese midfielder still has value, moments where he can tilt the balance of a match with a goal or a killer pass. The key for United may not be to treat him as untouchable, but to rethink his role. Instead of being the irreplaceable centerpiece, perhaps Bruno should become part of a rotation, a weapon to be used when the moment calls for inspiration. In his natural role as a number 10, Bruno remains a dangerous outlet. His long-range shooting, set-piece ability, and vision to unlock defenses can still be decisive, especially in tight games where United need a spark. But pushing him deeper, asking him to function as a pure number 8, distributing the ball, covering ground, and defending within a disciplined pressing system, feels forced, unnatural. The truth is simple. Bruno thrives when he's free, when he has the ball at his feet and the license to create. He struggles when chained to the demands of a rigid midfield machine. The sensible solution would be to rotate the number 8 role, using Bruno in matches where creativity is needed rather than forcing him into a role he's unsuited for. In fact, the super sub option may even be his most effective future. When United hit a dead end in the second half, bringing Bruno on in his natural number 10 position could make all the difference. He wouldn't need to exhaust himself across 90 minutes, but he would still have the chance to deliver decisive moments. Such a role would not only help him preserve his energy, but also give United the tactical flexibility they desperately need, rather than depending entirely on their new attacking trio. Yet, all of this hinges on Bruno himself accepting change, and that may be the hardest part. For years, he has been the heartbeat of Manchester United, the central figure, the man shouldering the responsibility, the guaranteed starter. Shifting from hero to rotation option is no small ask for a personality as fierce and proud as Bruno Fernandes. If he cannot overcome this psychological barrier, the so-called medium-term solution may never truly exist. Manchester United as a club now stand at a crossroads. Do they cling to a fading icon, sacrificing tactical fluidity in exchange for the comfort of a familiar leader? Or do they take the brave step, cashing in on Al Ittihad's enormous offer and beginning a bold new era of reconstruction? Whatever path they choose, one thing is clear. The decision must be decisive. Bruno Fernandes was once the torchbearer who lit up Old Trafford in its darkest days, a tireless leader who gave millions of fans a reason to believe again. But football does not live on memories. The real question for Amorim and Manchester United is this: will they continue to hold on to the past, or will they find the courage to write a new future, one where the Red Devils can finally reclaim their rightful place at the top? The answer, whichever it may be, will shape the destiny of Manchester United for years to come.